The sun barely crests the horizon, casting long shadows over a rugged mountain path, where an old man trudges forward, his heart heavier than the wood on his son's shoulders. This is Abraham, the man who left everything to follow a divine promise, now facing a command that defies every instinct, to sacrifice his beloved son, Isaac. Found in Genesis 22. This story isn't just a dusty page from the Bible, it's a gut-wrenching tale of faith stretched to its limits, where trust in God collides with the love of a father. Have you ever faced a moment where everything you hold dear was at stake, and the only way forward was blind obedience? In this video, we're diving into the heart of Abraham's test, unraveling the layers of his sacrifice, and discovering why this moment echoes through history as a testament to faith and divine provision. By the end, you will not only grasp the depth of Abraham's obedience, but also uncover practical lessons to face your own trials with courage. So, smash that like button if you're ready for a story that'll hit you right in the feels. Subscribe to join our journey, and let's climb Mount Moriah with Abraham and Isaac. The story unfolds in the land of Canaan, where Abraham has settled after years of wandering, guided by God's promise to make him a great nation. Picture a nomadic camp under a starry sky, tents flapping gently in the breeze, and Abraham, now over 100 years old, finally holding the son he'd waited decades for, Isaac, the child of promise, born to Sarah in her old age. This boy, whose name means laughter, brought joy to a family that had known barrenness and doubt. Abraham's life has been a saga of faith, leaving your trusting God through famines and battles, and believing in a son when all hope seemed lost. But now, as dawn breaks, a divine voice shatters the calm. God calls, "Take now thy son, thine only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and offer him as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show thee." Imagine the shock, the air sucked out of the moment. For you, this raises a question. What would you do when the thing you cherish most is demanded by a higher call? Abraham's response sets the stage for a journey that tests the limits of faith. Abraham rises early, his hands trembling as he gathers wood, a donkey, and to servants. Isaac, perhaps a teenager now, walks beside him, unaware of the purpose. Picture the scene, a father and son, trekking through the desert, the silence between them, heavy with unspoken weight. Abraham's mind must be racing. God's promise of a great nation hinges on Isaac, yet God now demands his life. Is this a cruel test, or something deeper? The Bible doesn't spell out Abraham's thoughts, but you can feel the torment. Maybe he's replaying God's promises, clinging to the hope that the one who gave Isaac could somehow make this right. For you, this moment offers a lesson. Faith often means moving forward when the path makes no sense. Have you ever had to act on trust alone, with no answers in sight? Abraham's silence as he walks is a masterclass in obedience, even when your heart screams for clarity. After 3 days, 3 long agonizing days, they reach Mount Moriah. Abraham tells the servants, "Stay here, the lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we will come again to you." Did you catch that? We will come again. It's a flicker of hope, a hint that Abraham believes God will provide, even now. He loads the wood on Isaac's back, takes the fire and knife himself, and they climb. Picture Isaac, strong and curious, carrying the burden like a young ox, unaware he's the intended offering. Then, in a moment that stops your breath, Isaac speaks. "Father, behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" The innocence in his voice cuts like a blade. Abraham's response is steady but laced with pain. God will provide himself a lamb. my son. For you, this is a cliffhanger that grips the soul. Will Abraham follow through, or will God intervene? It's a reminder that faith often hangs on a thread of hope, trusting provision when all seems lost. They reach the summit, and Abraham builds an altar, his hand steady but his heart surely breaking. Picture the stones stacked carefully, the wood arranged just so. Isaac, sensing the gravity, doesn't resist as Abraham binds him and lays him on the altar. Imagine the silence, broken only by the wind and the crackle of the fire nearby. Abraham raises the knife, his faith overriding every paternal instinct. This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance: love, obedience, and the promise of a nation. For you, it's a gut check. What would you sacrifice for what you believe in? Your dreams, your comfort, your plans? Abraham's raised hand isn't just about Isaac, it's about surrendering what's dearest to a purpose beyond yourself. But just as the knife gleams in the sunlight, a voice thunders from heaven. Abraham, Abraham, will this be judgment or salvation? The tension is unbearable, and you're right there with him, waiting for the answer. Do not lay a hand on the boy, the angel of the Lord commands. Now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son. Picture Abraham's relief, tears streaming as he lowers the knife, his faith proven in the crucible. Behind him, a rustle in the bushes reveals a ram caught by its horns. God's provision, right on time. Abraham unties Isaac, sacrifices the ram, and names the place Jehovah-Jireh, meaning the Lord will provide. For you, this is a game changer. God doesn't just test faith, He provides for it. In your life, think of moments when you've faced impossible choices, maybe a career risk, a relationship sacrifice, or a leap into the unknown. Abraham's story says provision often comes at the 11th hour, when you've trusted beyond reason. Have you ever seen a ram in the bush show up just when you needed it? God speaks again, renewing His promise. Because thou hast done this thing, I will bless thee, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Picture Abraham and Isaac descending the mountain, their bond deeper, their faith stronger. This isn't just a father-son story, it's the cornerstone of a covenant that will birth Israel and influence billions through Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For you, it's a reminder that your obedience, even in small moments, can ripple across generations. What choices are you making today that could shape your legacy? Abraham's faith wasn't just for him, it was for the world. Your actions, whether in your family, work, or community, carry that same potential. Let's ground this in history. Mount Moriah, likely near modern Jerusalem, was a significant site, later linked to the Temple Mount. The practice of burnt offerings was common in the ancient Near East, but human sacrifice was rare in Israel's faith, making God's command shocking yet symbolic. Some scholars see this as a divine rejection of human sacrifice, contrasting with pagan practices. The story's timing, around 2000 BCE, places Abraham in a world of nomadic tribes and emerging city-states, where trust in a single God was radical. For you, this context shows faith isn't abstracted, lived in the real world, amidst cultural pressures and personal doubts. How can you stand firm in your values when the world pulls you another way? The story's spiritual weight is immense. Genesis 22 is often called the Akada in Jewish tradition, a testament to Abraham's unwavering trust. Christians see parallels to God's sacrifice of Jesus, the only Son offered for humanity. For you, it is a call to examine your faith. What is your Isaac, the thing you love most, yet might be called to surrender? It could be a dream, a relationship, or control itself. Abraham's obedience wasn't blind, It was rooted in a history of God's faithfulness. Your Egypt, Isaac's birth. Your trust grows the same way, built on moments when you've seen provision in the past. What's one time you trusted and saw a breakthrough? Now, let's make this practical. First, trust through the unknown. Abraham didn't see the ram until he had to take steps toward your goals, even when the outcome's unclear. Second, surrender what holds you back. Isaac was Abraham's treasure, but his faith was bigger. Let go of fears or attachments that block your purpose. Third, expect provision. God provided the ram. In your life, look for unexpected solutions when you're stretched thin. Finally, build a legacy. Abraham's obedience. Blessed nations, your choices can inspire others. Whether through kindness, leadership, or standing firm, picture yourself as a beacon, lighting the way for those around you. This story of Abraham and Isaac isn't just about a mountain eat, as about the heights of faith and the depths of love. It challenges you to trust when it hurts, obey when it's hard, and believe in provision when all seems lost. Whether you're facing a personal trial or chasing a purpose, Abraham's journey shows that faith can carry you through the impossible. Thank you for climbing Mount Moriah with me in this epic tale of Abraham and Isaac. If this story stirred your heart or sparked new courage, smash that like button. It helps us share these timeless truths with more people. Subscribe and hit the bell to catch our next deep dive into history and wisdom. Share this video with someone who needs a boost to trust through tough times. In the comments, tell me, what's one Isaac you're being called to surrender? And how will you trust the journey? For more gripping stories that unpack life's big questions, check out our playlist linked below. Until next time, keep climbing your mountains with faith, and I'll see you in the next video.